Yeah, and then they probably made one truck about 2 weeks later after.
Fred, could you give a shout out to Juan real quick?
Juan, what's up?
Juan, we love you.
Love you, Juan.
Thank you. Cheech right here. So what's up, Juan?
What's up, Juan? How are you, Juan? We're missing you, Juanito. Juanito. He's over there.
So I haven't ever met that COVID man, but I got a lady that just sold a company for $1 billion, and I've been selling ranch horses. She bought 15,000 acres in Langland County. So we had that brand new, I think, flat. And he just got something over there. He ordered it. And so I was trying to buy it from her because she got all these ranch horses and she wants to haul it to in the spring.
She's real good.
That's a hell of a lineup right there. We got Cheech, Fred, and we got business in the front, party in the back.
I was talking to.
One time Cheech.
Hey, Brandon. Shout out to Cinch.
I don't go check what it is. I was all a dream always. It was all a dream.
I used to read Word Up magazine.
I mean, I was about to finish it up, but here's the deal. My mind goes blank. You know, your answer's going 1,000,000 miles an hour. You gotta figure out what you're gonna say before you say it, you know, because you won't be wearing that shit. They're going,
Listen, we'll be in Reno, California, talking about something that happened in 1955.
He could go back 30, 40 years of lineage, and then right over here and tell you about this boy's granddaddy and his granddaddy and his grandpa. And listen.
2023 in Reno, Nebraska, and this son of a bitch will go back to Clemens Family Road in 1950.
It'll take you back to like when he was 20 years old again, though. You know what I mean? Like he gets back in the mode again, like he's 20.
He'll talk to you like he's 20 years old, and then he'll say, "Welcome to the great city of Fort Worth, Texas." You know, and then it'll just kind of give you the goosebumps, like you're like, man, that is the voice of rodeo from every generation.
He's the rodeo version of the rapper. Like sometimes the same shit happens.
Just shout out Cinch.
So real quick story. A couple of days ago, Breakaway Finance, I told my wife, I said, this is how you can tell how real anybody is. And I knew that fucker had his phone on him.
Oh yeah.
So I called him while he's down there, and they hadn't said a prayer, nothing, they're just warming up. And lo and behold, the son looks down at his phone, and he says, Fred Whitfield is texting me, which I was actually calling him.
Yeah.
He said, Fred Whitfield, if you're in the house, we're glad to have you, buddy. And I've actually called people before, be sitting in my truck and they're not seeing them walk across the parking lot, and they fucking look at the phone and hang up, guess what?
Hit it, decline.
I've never called them.
Hey,
You ready, Greg? Ready?
Yeah, whatever. You're good.
Hey, welcome to the Tolleson-Mack podcast, second day of live over here at the Las Vegas Convention Center. I'd like to give a big shout out to Cinch. They came on board. We'd love to have them. Hoof grip. But look at these guys I got on. I mean, I just kind of,
My favorite.
we kind of switched this
My
up. Fred
favorite.
Whitfield from last year, we had you on the podcast, my favorite podcast from last year. My man Cheech.
how's it
Over
going?
there. Yeah, we ran into Cheech last night over at the Palms and invited him over. Before we get going on the podcast, Fred, I gotta tell you, we sat on here last year, over there at the MGM, and I asked you the hard question that everybody was talking about last year. I asked you, what would it take to get the breakaway rovers in the big show? And you told me that they can't push their way in. They gotta almost be invited in, right? And when they announced the Kimes Ranch $1 million breakaway, I wanted to call you and say, they're
don't think we're there yet. I mean, I know.
No, not yet, but I mean, we're going in the right direction.
No, most definitely. I think we're going in the right direction. And, you know, I thought early on there was some bad decisions made. I'm just going to be real honest with you.
Well, that's why we like you.
And it took a lot of years for the team members to get implemented. And it took guys 24 hours before the first performance one year. And I was in that room when Matt Tyler stood up and said, "Boys, there's not going to be a team member for review." So, and with that being said, the women don't have that kind of leverage yet. Because this year was the first year that I watched the performances. The first day, the crowd was so-so. The second day, the crowd was a lot.
At the very bad time.
Right when I was at the South Point. And so, the deal is, guys, the building out here has been established since 1985. And they don't have a problem selling it out, okay? So we've got to earn the right to be here. Just like the top 15 in the world. And you know, I noticed this a long time ago when I started the team, and I'm not going to call any names, but as you get older in the sport of rodeo, you want everything to cater to your needs. Right?
Yep.
And when I say that, guys, they want to less rodeos, they want to be able to win more money, but there's all these youngsters coming up that are hungry and eager to go to 75 or 100 or 125. And the older guys, they've got families now, they've got businesses they're trying to run. But so their real livelihood is somewhere else. It's not 100% of going up and down the road traveling 100,000 miles.
So, how far away do you think we are?
Well, I think it's going to take a little bit longer than what you think. I mean, they're not really negotiating something big. I'm so far as only longer than 20. I think it's going to happen whenever they renegotiate the contract. I don't think it's 2, 3, 4 years away.
Right. What did you think about the Kind Ranch $1 million recreation and how they did it with the rounds and how the whole setup thing was?
Well, I really honestly like everything about it, except when you go to what was the last 4 rounds? They only took the top 15
Right.
right? And so that should have been a lot too. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm up a lot. You know, I mean, I did more of that than I took out. To be quite honest with you, I mean, a lot of people aren't going to like to hear this, but that's a lot less work. You know what I mean? I'm 57 years old. I'm not 30 years.
Yeah.
I've done that shit with nothing. I was a kid, but as I got older, you know, to stay competitive. So that's the difference between today and regular rowing. Yesterday, you were with me running 50, 60, 70 calves a day and working my ass off to be a top player.
Did you watch any of it, Cheech? $1 million?
You know, I was traveling that day, so I didn't get to see it, but I seen some of the highlights and some of the highlight reels, and I'm gonna go ahead and say, you know, a big shout out to them. That's a big deal
Oh,
because
yeah, they stepped up.
they stepped up. We got some galleries paid. We got some new sponsorship in that deal, and not only I'm not just talking about sponsorship. I'm talking about payout. I mean, these guys are hauling these horses up and down the road, and to go to an event like that right before Vegas to build a momentum to come in here. And I know none of that money counts, but I'm gonna tell you what, it helps out at the end of the year when you're going to pay that decent tab, and you're going to pay the horse fee and that goods.
Yeah, Speed's daughter went 115,000 for 2 days before she comes to Vegas. Not too shabby.
Yeah, that heals up in December in Vegas. You know what I mean? And the rest of the year.
And here's what's crazy too. Kelsey Bowman than the average over there coming out over here than that far than the average here in the world. So you talking about momentum. When you go to that type of event and you get to run that type of money, I mean, we all know it's life changing, especially for cowboys. When horses are costing you anywhere from, you can go look at the dent nowadays and they want 50,000 for it. And a good one can cost anywhere from 100 to 300 just when the cowboys are dealing with theirs now. And to me, the difference is if you want to win, there's about 5 or 6 guys out there where the competition is so balanced, it's unreal. So in order for you to separate yourself from the you gotta have a better horse, you gotta have a better driver.
Yeah.
You gotta, if you're married, you gotta have a wife, gotta be all as good as everything you're doing. And so what people don't understand about the rodeo world, when you have a family, there's so much neglect that goes on
2014, I talked to Public Pain about it a little bit. I had to kind of fight for my spot in here. You know, I got audited. They said I went to too many rodeos. Anyways, long story short, I kind of got burnt out a little bit. And I kind of got where I did my growth and everything for a while. And then my first love was my boys. Anyways, you know, when your kids are born, that's the most precious thing you're able to see, the most life changing. So when I made that decision to slow down rodeo, my first love to go home and try to raise the boys and be a better dad. Because you talked about earlier, Fred, just like I spend a lot of time gone from home.
And to that point, I mean, I miss a lot of my kids' early childhood. And, you know, 2014, 2015, we had a lot of stuff going on, and I decided that I wanted to go home and to be a big part of their life the last several years. When, you know, I was moved out, graduated from high school, moved out, went to college, and so I've been an empty nester now for about 3.5, maybe 4 years. And it's crazy, man, because life has a strange way of coming every day you've ever done it. And when your kids don't call you every day, or you don't see them, or quite frankly, they feel like they don't need you anymore. It's a different deal. It really honestly.
I didn't want to miss the little bits of that.
They feel like they need a gym. I don't know, I feel like
The time I spent home, I mean, when COVID hit and they sent me home from Houston, I was in the middle of the curve. So I think it was the second round. I'm fixing to. I got there early. I'm early. I'm gonna go walk some rounds. I'm gonna get the feel for it. Put my horses back. Everything's ready to go. You know, and they come back later on that afternoon and tell me, hey, you're gonna have to load up your stuff. We're not having a rodeo anymore. That really opened my eyes, and when I got home, I realized, listen, I need to be home because what happens if we do this again? Because that was my livelihood. That's where I was getting my money. And now I called some really good friends, Neil and Jody Wallace. They had a whole bunch of horses over there. They said, if you want some horses, we'll send you. And that's what saved me right there. I started doing more rope wrestling and clinics and stuff like that. And quite frankly, I haven't been back. This is the first time I ended up at the jackpot over here for the World Series finals. Yes, I haven't been there in 3 years. So I'm excited about that.
I think one of the things that I see too, I came in as a really young announcer, Fred. I seen you when I was just starting. I mean, I was, I know that you throughout your whole career, but as an announcer, I watched the middle of your career all the way up to the end where I was there. Caesar, same thing. And I think coming in as a young announcer, I watched guys where they were making this decision. Do I go spend that other $100,000 that Fred, as you mentioned before? You know, go spend those other $100,000 on a horse and $100,000 on a truck trailer and go and chase it, or do I take my ass home and regroup and focus on my family? But at the same time, here's a really crazy analogy. I told my wife this, Kelsey. I know that I can go and live alone. Okay, the show. Okay? This is where these guys start breaking at day 50. If you'll watch that show, at day 50, when they first say something, this is anything, I don't care who it is. You can be the toughest image in the whole world, but I'm gonna tell you something. The first time on that show that they start mentioning their family, they'll cry. And that's when you know. You gotta know when everybody has to know their limits. You know, and I think that's one of the things that is impressive to see men like you. You guys, listen, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. You done the right thing. You guys did a lot of heavy carrying, a lot of the heavy lifting. I'm here to show these other guys too to know, hey man, it's great to go and chase that gold buckle, but you gotta know when, when it's time to head back to the house and regroup or keep going.